What if Female Deku was Cozy Glow? Part 3. The entrance exam. We start this off as Cozy Glow has just woken up and gotten out of bed. As she spreads her wings out and moves them around a bit as she stretches. Alright, what to do today? As she starts thinking, as then she hears a knock at the door. Oh, that must be my morning breakfast. As she opens it, as she sees one person there with her breakfast. Why, thank you. As she smiles. No problem, ma'am. Here's your breakfast. As she hands it to her. Why, thank you. Also, your grandmother to inform you to remind you that you have the UA entrance exam, recommendation exam to take. As she's surprised. What? As she turns around, repeat that last part. Your grandmother told me to tell you that you have the recommendation exam from UA today. To take. Why, thank you. You may be dismissed. As she stuttered in that last sentence. Yes, ma'am. As she walks away, she quickly sets her food down, and then we see a few moments later, Carla had entered the room. It seems like you tore the place up, as the room's in shatters, several broken pieces of furniture, and broken, equipment. As she's just sitting on her bed. It seems like you threw a bit of a temper tantrum. I'm no kid. Then why are you so angry? Little kids usually just destroy their homes and stuff. The things that they belong when they're enraged. I'm not a child. Clara, do you remember that? I'm just messing with you. What has you so riled up? My grandmother apparently signed me up for the recommendation exam. Oh, I guess you regret now paying actor, don't you? As she glares at her. Easy. I only came here to deliver this. As he reveals that thing from the last episode. Oh, you killed him, I see. Of course, I did the job pretty well. He was begging for his life in the end. I'm pretty sure you disposed of the body. Why, of course. The heroes still think he's roaming free at the moment. Good. As she gives a sigh. I don't like UA. Yes, you went on yesterday about how you despise it. Yes, and my grandmother wants more ways to control me. To be fair, she can't do much to you now, with all your contacts and all that. Yes, but one area of expertise I have no contacts with is UA, and I refuse to make any there. I know if it was up to you, you would have that school demolished. 100%. They always like to overshadow my work. They're like, whenever I do something good, they want to overshine me with it. And it's really annoying. Like, I helped solve us with military matters. I stopped us from nearly going to war with another country, and all they can do is talk about UA and their #1 hero. And they don't want to talk about any of my progress. It's just so infuriating. I would love to see that school burn to the ground. But I cannot do so. Because then they'll piece some things together and all that, and I can't risk losing my image now. Yes, that is very clear, ma'am. But you really should be going now. After all, you've got about an hour before the exam starts. You should be going. Fine. As she gets up and grabs, a coat. But if I'm leaving, She tosses a coat on her. "You're cleaning this up." "I figured you would say that. I'll have it cleaned up by the time you get back. Oh, and one more thing." "What is that, ma'am?" "You need to stop getting on my nerves. We may be friends and all that, but you pushing my buttons won't be so good for you. I may tolerate you and consider you a friend, but you irritate me enough. It won't be pleasant for you." As she glares at her, as Carla just simply laughs. "You think I'm scared of that? We've been friends and I've been doing what you've asked for a long time. So don't worry about it. After all, I wouldn't be here today if you hadn't helped me survive on the streets." Of course, I'm still older than you, as she goes over and, well, pretty much rubs her head. "You may be older, but I didn't give you a permission to touch my head." As she moves her hand, moving her hand off her head. "Take it easy now. I'm just trying to show you my appreciation for you. You do it in some strange ways. Anyway, I'm off. Oh, and before you open that door, you might want to put on your acting face. Unfortunately, I could not get your usual guards. Your grandmother just insisted on sending an entire escort." "How many vehicles this time?" "Luckily, only 2 escort vehicles." "Great, I don't need a whole hero escort pulling up to UA. That would just be annoying. And it would give UA more credit. Have a nice day." As she walks out. "Why, hello. Y'all must be the people my grandmother sent me to pick up for the exam." As they nod, "Yes, ma'am." "Well, to the limo, I should say. Right this way." As she walks off. As Carly just smiles. As we get a flashback, as we see a younger Carla, who was older than Cozy Glow at the time, but was holding her knees in an alleyway. As we see a young Cozy Glow, at like 6 years old, approach her and handed her bread. As she looks up, as she is, well, 9, "It looks like you need some bread." As she grabs it and starts eating it. "Thank you." "No problem." As she turns her head sideways and smiles. As, "Why don't you follow me? I can get you much more of that." As she takes her to a restaurant and buys, well, food. As she asks, "How did you get this money?" "Oh, it's just, As she looks at her bag that is close to empty. "Just some leftover money I have." "You didn't have to get this for me, you know." "No, I decided to do something nice." And she has a smile. As the flashback ends. Your friendly smile back then has changed, Cozy Glow. You have got no one you really trust. That's a shame. You may give me a lot of it, amount of your trust, but you don't really trust anyone else, do you? As she starts cleaning up the room. As we go to Cozy Glow, whose limo just pulls up to the front of UA as she gets out and walks in, and she can already hear the gossip of the students. "Hey, isn't that Cozy Glow? What, the Hero Safety Commission? Well, officers?" "Yes, she's pretty high up there. She's in the meetings and all that with the Hero Safety Commission president. I hear that she's the granddaughter and the youngest to reach that position." As of course, Cozy Glow hears all of that. as she makes her way to the recommendation area. As she sits down, as she starts to observe the area. Ah, Momo. That's from the Ryozu family, right? I can never pronounce their last name correctly, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, I might want to make a deal with them. After all, they do have a lot of influence and money. So it may be beneficial to have contacts with them. And it may be beneficial to me, even though I hate this school, to make a few, well, allies. She looks over and sees Shoto Todoroki. That's Endeavor's kid. Why does he have a scar on one of his eyes? Oh, right. That report told me everything. And she remembers reading a report on the Endeavor and what he did to his children and all that. Grandmother did well to hide that. After all, for some reason. As she also noticed the wind quirk user in the room. Ah, I can tell he's strong. Maybe interesting. He doesn't look that too smart, though. Anyway, let's just get the exam done. As she does the exam, and of course, she makes a perfect score on the test, and, well, does the race thing and did it flawlessly and all that. As she simply just flied, as they did like a race thing, and she was the first one to finish because of her quirk. As she tries to make her way over to the, observation room with 2 security guards, which were the ones sent by her grandmother, of course. As she reaches the door, as she knocks, as Midnight opens the door. Oh, Cozy Glow, you're not allowed to be here. This is staff only. As Nezu says, let her watch. After all, you can't do much, and I need to have a chat with her today. Cozy Glow of the Hero Safety Commission. As she enters, why thank you, but unfortunately, I'm not here on business, as grandmother has banned me from work for a month. And UA may be also taking time off my work, which may be a little bit chaos on my subordinates that fill in all the paperwork and all that. As she gives an innocent smile. Well, you guess you're here. You can watch the entrance exam for our regular students. Very well. As she takes a seat, as there were several heroes in the room, as Endeavor was also there. As she looks over at Endeavor, I never met you in person, but you're the type that would definitely be, succumb to bribery. Just by the look. And that irritating look when you look at All Might. As she's grinning. But no one seems to notice. As she looks at the security footage and is watching the examinees. As she knows someone in particular. Someone with a brainwashing quirk. That could be interesting. Definitely a useful quirk for when you want something done. Although, depending on its drawback, depends how useful it is. As another person catches her eye, someone with a copy quirk. I wonder how much he can use. I'll need to do research on both these students. As she smiles, and then she noticed a third student, someone in a green hood. That's definitely actor for you, playing his role as always. As she smiles. Nezu says, so has any of them caught your eye? As Aizawa says, not really. Maybe that, spike hair explosive kid. As Cozy Glow Deku takes a look up. Ah, Katsuki Bakugo. If I remember, I met him when I was younger. It was a brief encounter, as she remembers seeing him bully other kids as she was hiding, well, across from the playground on the other side of the street. I remember hearing that name. Is that the same boy, I presume? Maybe he has some work or type of information to use to bribe him. I'm already gathering so much interesting information about the next generation. Although, I do have to watch out for who's going to be in my class with me. Because guarantee I can hear the headlines now. Cozy Glow joined UA. UA is going to get more popular, and guaranteeing this is going to make it part of the headlines. Especially with All Might now a teacher at UA. This is just going to increase their fame and all that. Like I haven't done enough to observe any appreciation. But no, it's always outshined or covered up by these hero working stuff. Like I haven't done some things worth of notice. As she has done a lot of work that she wanted to be appreciated for, but it was always outshined by either her grandmother or the heroes, as they didn't care about internal affairs, which she dwelled in. As she just stares and stays silent for the rest of the time in the observation room. As it ends, as Nezu turns around. So what did you take an interest into anyone, Cozy Glow? Oh, not really, but I did manage to see a whole bunch of fascinating young heroes, possible new hero candidates. After all, with them, the next hero generation is to look bright. Guarantee it. As she smiles, I agree with you. We have some promising young students this year. And with you being one of them, you'll be able to have your license, too. Truth be told, I'm only here on request of my grandmother. As Aizawa speaks up, I thought y'all were on good speaking terms. Oh, we are not at the moment. As Midnight asks, and why are y'all not on good speaking terms? That is, a personal matter. As one of the security guards, gets up and walks over. Yes, that matter cannot be discussed here. As she's like, alright. Well, you're going to be in my class. Well, at least I'll be around a familiar face. As she smiles. Well, if you excuse me, I gotta get back before dark, or I'm gonna get an earful from my grandmother. She doesn't like me staying out during certain hours. She must not like when you have to do some of that nightly jobs you have to do. Oh, it's just diplomatic relations when grandmother is not available. As she says in the back of her mind, which is a lot, as she's too busy honing in her own projects, not even focusing on possible external country enemies. Too worried about her internal affairs. As she just gets up. Well, I better get going. Y'all have a nice day. As she smiles as her and the security guards walk out. I gotta keep the smile up because these aren't my usual guards. And I can't trust them. They may report to grandmother about something. As they get to the limo. Where to? As Cozy Glow then squints her eyes. As she quickly gets out of the car. As the security guards are shocked, as the car then just blows up. As she's on the ground, just barely dodging the explosive of the car. As I thought, that wasn't our usual driver. As she gets up and the people from the other vans come out with their guns and go to Cozy Glow, as heroes start to arrive from UA and trying to figure out what's happening. As Cozy Glow got a little bit of a scratch because she had to jump out of the vehicle. As They go out, and Aizawa goes, "What happened?" "Listen, stay back. We're currently tending to Kozikilo." As Nezu and the rest of the heroes are wondering what happened, someone just tried to assassinate the granddaughter of the Hero Safety Committee. As they currently have guards all over the place now, with guns out. Great. There goes without a scene issue. As they quickly get her into another car and drive off. Now with a hero escort, as heroes are now following, while several people with securities are now checking the area. As this soon gets across the news of someone trying to assassinate the granddaughter of the Hero Safety Committee. As we see Koziklo in bed with a injured arm. There goes that plan without getting noticed. You could be a little bit more cheerful you didn't die today. So what about it, Clara? Didn't matter. I knew that wasn't my usual driver. I insist I have that my driver be the same person. Every time. For a reason. I know the car's not tampered with. But who would have the resources to, well, try to assassinate you? Isn't it obvious? As she sighs, should have expected. Yes, it was all for one. He obviously wants to get rid of me. Again, he may try, but this attempt has failed. As she gets up, you shouldn't be out of bed. It's just a scratched arm. After all, in a week I gotta go to U. Not in a week. Tomorrow I gotta go to UA. As she sighs, you have a few days before UA opens up. I know. Then why do you insist to go back there tomorrow? I don't know. I guess I just want some information. Listen, you can't go back there. Currently your grandmother won't even let you leave the building. The guards around here has been doubled thanks to that little incident. I'm aware. I wouldn't be surprised if grandmother was behind it in some way. I don't think your grandmother would try to kill you. I agree with you, but if things comes to things, and she had no other choice, she probably would. But I don't think this was her. So we're thinking it's mostly all for one behind this, correct? Correct. Great. I guess I'll just have to continue my research on the students of UA personally when I go to class. Take it easy, after all. That news about you almost being assassinated is going to be all over the news for a couple days. I am aware, and I'm going to get a whole unwanted attention, which I don't mind, but they're going to obviously give to the credit to the UA for the heroes being nearby, saying that she saved her and it wasn't my instinct that saved myself. The heroes always get the credit. Listen, there's some things you cannot fight. Just let the heroes have this one. As she just dead glares at Clara. Let the heroes have this one. They had no, well, involvement in me saving myself. Note, this is why I asked for my escort. I can trust my escort. Fine, I will talk with your grandmother, as you're in no mood or condition to go talk to her at the moment. And why is that? If you hadn't noticed, you scraped your arm pretty bad. That had to be in a cast, which will be there for your first day of UA. And you got caught in the explosion a bit. Luckily I had my wings in the back of my clothes, or else that would have been trouble. Yes, that would. Your wings would mostly got caught up in the explosion as well, and not just your arm. Yes. Well, anyway, go inform grandmother, whatever. Leave me alone for the time being. I need to think. Very well. As she leans back, how much do I hate this society and want to see it burn? As she just starts thinking, what could I do to get payback for All for One trying to murder me? Think. I could rent out some of his facilities. No. He would then just move his stuff. As he has some eyes and ears in the Hero Safety Commission. So, what else could I do to really irritate him? Think. Ah. You know what? That may work. But no, I'm calling in that connection too soon. I guess I just gotta sit back and see how this plays out. As she gets up and walks to a desk and opens a book. As she reads, "It seems you survived that assassination attempt this time, Cozy Glow. Well, that confirms who it is." As she quickly closes it, grabs it, and goes over to a fireplace and tosses the book in there. Always trying to sneak stuff on me. You know you can't kill me while I'm in this building. Outside, on the other hand, is another story. As she sits down, what to do now? I guess I just sit back and wait. As she goes to sleep, as we go to Clara, who's currently walking in on a meeting with a few heroes and the Hero Safety Commission president. As she walks in, "Ma'am, why did you not let her go with her escort?" Clara, as the heroes in there is Hawks, All Might and Eraserhead, and Nezu. As you knew that this could happen if you did not send her personal bodyguards, and the driver she usually has. So why did you send your own people instead of hers? As she's yelling at the Hero Safety Commission president. As Nezu speaks up, "May I know who this is?" "This is Clara, the head security guard for Cozy Glow." "Yes, and the fact that she didn't want her own granddaughter's security guards, believing they were not trustworthy enough to go and, help. You know, we could have been there. We could have sighted that placement of the bomb. Only if you had at least let her have her regular driver. We could have trusted that thing couldn't have been bombed." As Aizawa speaks up, "She has a point. Why don't you let her go with her own escort?" "Listen, I chose for my escort, my team, to protect her, as they're more qualified." "More qualified, you say? Well, last I checked, you found a body in an alleyway this morning and also didn't report to your own security guard later that day that was the driver. And that 2 of your own men died in the explosion. So why didn't you report that?" "We couldn't confirm due to the highly burns on the body, so we had no idea it was the driver." "How do you know it was the driver?" "Simply, I had an autopsy done and DNA test. And by the time y'all could have found that out, all it would have taken is a phone call. Because the DNA tests come back as that driver 10 minutes before the bomb or the explosion happened. So you could have warned and saved 2 of your guards and prevented Cozy Glow from being injured." As she speaks up, "That is enough. I chose for my security detail to protect her. You are dismissed." As she storms out. "She seems really mad," All Might speaks up. "Yes, After all, she's been guarding my granddaughter for a while now. She took up the position as a security for her when she was 16. That young? Yes, of course she was just a training security guard at the time. She quickly grew through the ranks to earn the head position of security guard, chosen by Cozy Glow. And why did she choose her for that? Apparently Cozy Glow knew her when she was on the streets. On the streets? As Aizawa and Nezu and All Might are confused. But that's none of your concern. Anyway, there's nothing for us to discuss. Thank you, and y'all are dismissed. Thank you for saving my granddaughter. As they walk out, you can really tell there's some bad blood between them. Obviously, and that security guard was awfully concerned about Cozy Glow's safety. Well, it would be true, Hawks speaks up, if she was a head security guard like she is. Of course she'd be concerned about the person she's supposed to protect. Yes, you're right. So for now, I guess there's nothing we can do. Let's just head back to UA and we'll just have to up security. Because this happened right outside the gates. Well, that is part 3 of What If Female Deku Was Cozy Glow. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe for more.